you think there's racial diversity on campus?
I believe there's a minimum amount. There are definitely a lot more white people here than there are of a different minority.
Do you think that the lack of diversity takes away from your college experience?
Not really. I've grown up here all my life, and I went to a public school with very little diversity as well, and it's kind of what I'm used to, and I guess what you expect in an area and a school like this.
What does white privilege mean to you, and do you think it's present on campus?
White privilege doesn't really mean that much to me, I guess. Once again, I've grown up here all my life, and I guess it's kind of been the same in most places, and I don't really think it's too prevalent or noticeable on the campus.
Okay, thank you. What is your opinion on the diversity of this campus?
I find Villanova to be not very diverse. As an Asian American individual, I don't really see too many others like myself, but there are rising numbers, I guess you could say.
And relating into that, what do you think of the nickname Villanova?
I think it's pretty accurate. The majority of the students here are white, but it doesn't really bother me.
Do you think that do you think white privilege is prevalent on this campus? And if so, have you seen any examples of it?
Not really. I just don't really interact with a lot of people besides my teammates and classmates. I don't really get treated any differently.
Does the lack of diversity on campus bother you and affect your college experience?
Not really. I don't think it really plays that big of a role in the college experience. I mean, sometimes I guess it would be nice to connect with people that are similar, but I feel like I've made plenty of good connections regardless.
Do you think that white privilege is present on campus?
Definitely.
How so?
I feel like when you walk around, you can definitely see like white privilege or whatever. It's just people. I feel like some people have like an air of entitlement to them, but.
Has there ever been an incident where you felt uncomfortable on campus?
No, definitely not. I feel like people here might have that air of entitlement, but they're also still very accepting. I've never felt like discriminated against or felt uncomfortable in any situation.
Does the lack of diversity of campus bother you and affect your college experience?
Not really. I mean, there's definitely a white majority, but it doesn't really affect my college experience, or it doesn't really bother me either.
Do you think that white privilege is present on campus?
There's no real privilege for white people that I don't have extended to me either. We all pretty much have all the same opportunities on this campus. There's nothing really for white people only, and no minorities allowed.
Has there been an incident where you felt uncomfortable on campus?
Honestly, not really. I have not felt uncomfortable, not once even being here. I think I've fit in pretty well. Everybody's like really nice. No one really treats me differently just because I'm from a different country.
Does the lack of diversity on campus bother you?
Yes.
How so?
Sometimes I feel like people here are really stereotypical when it comes to people that aren't white, and I see a lot of it. Like one time I went to an ACS fashion show, and they had a lot of people performing. It was like Love the Skin You're In, I think it was called. And they had a lot of people performing, and there was like the dance team, maybe the cheerleaders, I think. And then like this whole group or club of Indian people got up in like costumes, and everyone just like the room fell silent. People kind of looked at them. No one really knew what was going to happen. And they wound up having the best dance ever. Everyone was applauding them by the end, and I just really think that it's sad that at first everyone judged them rather than be open to what they were going to do.
Do you think that white privilege is here at Villanova?
I don't know, because if I were to experience white privilege, I wouldn't know that I was experiencing it, so I don't really know.
Does the lack of diversity of campus bother you and affect your college experience?
No, there's plenty of diversity on campus.
Do you think that white privilege is present on campus?
White privileges? No, but I think there's a lot of white people on campus that they outnumber diversified people.
Has there been an incident where you felt uncomfortable on campus?
Not directly. I've heard racial slurs, but wasn't really offended by them.
Good. Does the lack of diversity on campus bother you and affect your college experience?
It doesn't really bother me because the high school I went to had a lot of white people in it, I guess, so I'm kind of used to it. But being here, I've become more aware of my race.
Do you think that white privilege is present on campus?
Yeah, I think white privilege is present everywhere I go.
Has there been an incident where you felt uncomfortable on campus?
There's a lot of instances, like just walking from my room to the bathroom. If a white girl's walking towards me, she'll like get closer to the wall or like kind of turn away or not say like, I'm just like, I'm not gonna do anything to you, I'm just trying to go to the bathroom, but they act like I'm about to do something to them.
Does the lack of diversity on campus bother you and affect your college experience?
It does bother me because I just feel like there's a lot of different like ideas people should learn, meet. Coming back from my background, it's just meeting the different people I'm meeting is great, but like in the retrospect, I'm probably the first Puerto Rican friend people I've had on this campus, and that bothers.
Do you think that white privilege is present on campus?
Yes, I do. You can just see it, dude. Like, who owns cars as freshmen right now?
Has there been an incident where you felt uncomfortable on campus?
Once actually. It was some guys were just talking and they were just chatting up like, oh yeah, I'm going to this place for Christmas break, I'm going to my summer home, going like this and that, I'm doing crazy shit. I'm going to Cancun, and they were just, like I was just hearing a whole bunch of different shit, and it was like a small thing. It was just like a small like little barrier. They were just like automatically they looked at me and they were like, oh, so are you going to, where are you going? This is like, oh, I'm back home. Like, oh god. And like that idea, like, oh yeah, I'm just going back home or something. Like, I don't have a summer. Like, it's not like something huge for me. It's just, yeah, I'm just going back to my crib. Just their face and the way it was, it kind of irritated me. It was just like, automatically they just like, oh yeah, you know, they had that like barrier, but they just like separated themselves already. So it's just like.